what the H? Tennessee just 8.5 wins? Wow, that's pretty stunning. Here we go.
What the? What was he thinking?
Release the hounds.
The Dave Hooker Show.
Keep cool.
A presentation of offthehooksports.com.
We have a new gambling partner we're going to announce, and I went into it and I told them that you're just going to have to give my audience incredible buy-ins. So they're going to do that. Your first 3 buy-ins are going to be at 125%. I'll tell you more about that. But first, before we finalize everything, we're going to go off FanDuel's numbers, but I think betus.com. But don't do it yet because I'm going to give you the code where you get 25% more cash. So you put in 100, you get 125 back. Pretty cool. All right. Tennessee football's over under set at 8.5 on FanDuel. Okay. Pick a word to describe this.
Asinine. Asinine. And I could get past. I told you this yesterday. I usually debate with rankings, reporters or whatever that set these over under win totals and predictions, and we can call them biased. But Dave, you know this. Vegas doesn't have any bias. They have a financial interest in setting this.
Yes.
And how in the world did they set this at 8.5? I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. Are they seeing something that I don't? Because this is ridiculous. I mean, they went 9-4 this year with a significantly worse quarterback than they're going to have next year.
I'm having deja vu. It felt like we had this conversation where you and I weren't on day to day, but it felt like we had this conversation, or at least I did, on the program heading into the 2022 season. I'm just literally, instead of just saying it's asinine like you did, and I was just going to say bizarre and idiotic, whatever the words, let's play the other side. Give me a reason that Tennessee is 8.5 when I believe they should be 9.5. Okay, new quarterback. I'm going to play devil's advocate, and you tell me, and throw it on the message board too if you want to challenge Caleb, which is basically challenging both me and Caleb, because I can tell you the money I won on the Jawan Jennings touchdown thanks to Denda, that I'm putting that all on this because it's an easy bet. So, but I'm going to throw some things at you. First year quarterback.
Okay. Is that it?
That's it. I'm trying to come up with stuff.
Okay. So I looked at the SP Plus yesterday, and I'm going to look at other analytical data going forward, but we can pretty much guarantee in all analytical data, there's going to be 3 teams ahead of Tennessee this year, no matter what how you splice it. Oklahoma, Alabama, Georgia. Safe to say?
Okay. Yes.
That's already 9. So I think Vegas is looking at that, and then they're saying, okay, there is a 50-50. It's likely Tennessee loses those 3 games. And then they say there's a 50-50 chance Tennessee slips up in one of their other 9 games and I mean, the ones that they might point out would be NC State at Arkansas, Kentucky, Mississippi State. I mean, I'm spitballing here, but I guess they're saying one of those games, NC State at Arkansas, Florida, Kentucky, Mississippi State. They're saying that one of those games will be a slip up for Tennessee, and the other 3 are likely losses. That's where I think they're getting to 8.5.
Okay. This wouldn't be a factor, but coaches and players departing the program. If I'm on the outside looking in, I'm thinking, oh, this thing could be burning down internally because they've got a couple of coaches that could leave, one that already did, and they had a player like Tyler Barron, who, again, outside looking in, we know more than the media, the national media. Outside looking in, they don't have great chemistry like they've had in previous years. I'm just trying to come up and challenge you. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm not saying I believe any of this stuff.
Well, that's the problem. I think their chemistry is amazing. I think the analytical data works against them, though, because it doesn't look like they have chemistry, because when you lose your quarterback, it seems like you lost a disproportionate amount of production. And this is what we talk about all the time when it comes to returning talent. You can't just weigh returning talent in numbers and how you did the year before, because the story with returning talent is who's coming back. Like, who's coming back? And so just to give you guys a quick example, forget quarterback for a minute. That's a big deal. One of the things that worked against Tennessee going from 97 to 98 was they didn't just lose Peyton Manning, but they lost Marcus Nash, who set all the school records in receiving. So the idea was they lost Marcus Nash. Well, what we all found out was losing Marcus Nash was an upgrade because that just meant more balls to throw to Peerless Price, who became the number one receiver. So I think Peerless and Cedric Wilson was a better receiving tandem than Marcus Nash and Peerless Price. And so but analytical data they can't quantify that. All they see is record-setting receiver leaves for the NFL that was Peyton Manning's favorite target, even though you and I both agree probably the biggest product of Peyton Manning of all time was Marcus Nash. So I think that's what they see with this. They can't quantify the fact that Tennessee is getting an upgrade at quarterback. All they can quantify is that Tennessee lost a significant amount of production in Joe Milton.
Okay, no. Now, let me ask you this. This is according, though, to
Vegas.
To Vegas.
You would think Vegas would know the difference.
Right. Vegas should be factoring in Nico.
I thought they would, too. And Vegas, as you told me yesterday, and I think you're right, we believe that Vegas is secretly tied into every single program in college football right now. They have a lot of money to make on this. I don't know where they're getting this. The only thing that might make it a concern is, does Vegas know something that we don't even know, Dave, since they're so tied in? Like, are there concerns is there a trainer, like an workout assistant coach that's telling them that, hey, there's an issue here that's not getting out at all?
Yeah, but I don't know what the issue is. So today's tough question, I can't even imagine what it would be. Today's tough question is brought to you by the Hemp House, the premier hemp dispensary online with a wide variety, great selection, and strict standards to ensure you only receive the best in CBD or Delta products. Hemp House Chat with 2Ts.com. Hemp House Chat with 2Ts.com. So I ask you this question, and I'm going to put you absolutely on the spot. You have to pick one reason why Tennessee is 8.5, and I'm going to go with new quarterback. Even though you know how much I like Nico, I'm going to go with outside optics, new quarterback.
I'm going to go with schedule, just because they think they're at 9. They think they only have 9 wins on their schedule already, and they think there's already 3 circled losses for Tennessee next year. And I don't think there are. I think one of those circled losses is actually a circled win, because I think Alabama's a circled win. I think the only toss-up games for Tennessee next year are Oklahoma and Georgia. That's it. But Vegas doesn't see it that way.
No, I think the Alabama win right now, if I had to pick it, would absolutely be a win for Tennessee, and not even a coin flip game. They just continue to lose people, lose coaches. There were a lot of situations in Lane Kiffin's one year where things just weren't put together like they should be. And when that happens, it costs you games, and it's going to cost Alabama a couple of games to work out the chemistry across the board with just their coaches, much less their players. City Heating and Air Conditioning, 50 years in East Tennessee. Integrity matters. Don't trust a fly-by-night HVAC company to tell you that you need a new unit that could cost you thousands or more. cityheatandair.com, cityheatandair.com. Coming up on the program, Tennessee is limiting their spring game attendance by a lot. Does it matter? Do you care? By the way, today's tough question, we would absolutely love for you to vote on the question that is right now on the YouTube page. What if Vols just won 8 games in regular season? We have 4 choices. Hot seat for Heupel, disaster, but keep calm, still growing. 8 is fine. 8 is fine, got 0% of the vote. Still growing, got 40% of the vote. I would call them the optimists. Disaster, but keep calm. 40% of the vote, I would call them the realist of let's not make a huge monstrous change, because we've seen the decade of dysfunction. As a Tennessee fan, you've seen that. Lastly, hot seat for Heupel. I'm sorry, that's my choice. If other than a rash of injuries or Nico getting hurt, if they lose 4 games in the regular season, that's got to be hot seat.
That's hot seat. That's easily hot seat. This is his 4th year. How many years do you guys want? And I mean, this is a problem. The most annoying thing in the world is constantly, I'm sorry. I'm of the mindset, Dave, that I really only give a break for like 1 year to say you're rebuilding. You're only rebuilding for 1 year in football. That's it. By year 2, you better be showing me some stuff. And Heupel showed us stuff in year 2. I didn't consider last year rebuilding. I actually considered 2023 an indictment against Heupel's roster mismanagement in adding Joe Milton to begin with from 2021. But I gave him a break for that. But yeah, no, you need to show promise. If you're not rebuilding in year 4, guys.
Yeah, you're not, especially with the transfer portal. I'm not sure that you're rebuilding in year number 2 now. Do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button, the like button right now. Turn your notifications on. I did a little bit of research, and a lot of you don't have your notifications on, so you don't know when we drop new stuff like Cooper Mays yesterday, who was awesome to quite awesome. Gave us some insight on Dylan Sampson, how he continues to become a leader. And the funniest line ever, Caleb, I want to call you. I thought I just shared on the show. When I said Dylan Sampson, how much of is it a want to as far as pass blocking? And he goes, I don't know, some, I guess. He goes, I wouldn't want to pass block. And this is Cooper. I mean, this is an offensive lineman. And I said, what do you mean? That's what you do. And he goes, yeah, but if I'm running around and I'm picking up 20 yards a carry and then I have to pass block a guy that weighs 40 pounds from me, I don't want to do that. But he said Dylan does, and that's all fine. But Cooper is always hilarious. So be sure and check that out. The Vol Report brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning.